Welcome back. Well, markets at a decent spot at this point in time, especially after the early morning scare, and the mid-caps doing exceptionally well. Two stocks in the green for one in the red at this point. With that, let's shift focus to one theme which we have been attending to every day, and that in the run-up to the budget, and that is how each sector is looking at the budget. The sector we are now looking at is the capital goods sector. And joining us now is Mr. M.S. Unnikrishnan, the Managing Director of Thermax. Good morning, sir. Thanks so much. Well, what are the expectations? You know, we had this big 102 lakh crore of investment pipeline announcement, infrastructure pipeline. In the light of that, what would you want to hear from the budget so that that is actualized?
Yes, Lata, the number is out in the market. Which sector and in what frequency and how it is going to be done, the detailing is what is expected from the budget, and what is going to be the budget allocation for each of the sectors. I presume the main area that they'll be spending the maximum quantum of money will be in the rural and highway building, the road building, which would mean there will be a spurt in both cement and partially steel demand will spur up, because when better roads are built, you have better cities coming in, so the real estate sector also should improve. So I'm expecting that's one major push that's going to happen. Second is, I believe that time has come for us to be implementing all the oil and gas projects that we were talking about for the past maybe 6 years. So there should be, they may not need too much of allocation, budgetary support, or at least policy firming up to say that we are going to be increasing the capacity of refining in every refinery of India. So that should itself be an ONG, and downstream investment should be announced by them thereafterwards. For the rural sector, for consumption growth, I would expect the government to be allocating a lot more of funds to ensure that the cash in the hand of the consumer has got to go up. And there is a fear of already the inflationary pressures starting to show their face up. So I would believe that there should be enough and more source for the rural agri sector, which will have a cascading impact on multiple sectors like FMCG and durables also, because those are the guys who have stopped buying a lot more of consumer items and even durable items, automobiles, two-wheelers, the lower end of the automobile, the four-wheelers. So I'm expecting that a rural push will be there from the minister.
Okay.
Well, renewable sector, because we have not had any major power plant announcement happening in the power sector for the past few years, and since the globe is virtually wanting to give up on coal, though India can't do that, so there should be a power sector on both conventional area and the renewable area. There should be allocation for it. And similarly, a policy announcement related to enforcement of the gaseous pollution control, which we are all witnessing across the country, the climate change related one. So good allocation related to pollution control and renewable energy. And water and wastewater regulations. Some solves for the municipal corporation like JNNURM, which existed in the earlier past, where the central government will support investment in sewage treatment, because every river of our country, whether you north, south, or anywhere you go, the rivers are nothing but sewage carriers.
Mr. Unnikrishnan,
these are the main items.
Yeah, Mr. Unnikrishnan, you're detailing a lot of things, but there's not that much money.
Yeah.
Are you expecting orders to flow?
Certainly not in the immediate future, but I'm not unduly worried about the way. I was very happy to listen to Mr. Sondhi of Amul. In the FMCG sector and the food sector, there are a set of companies who have a good balance sheet, not getting unduly worried about. So private investment is happening already, Lata. It is only a phobia created that it's not happening. I have orders from Amul, I've got orders from Nestle. So there are good companies in India who are supporting the consumption story of India despite the temporary difficulty.
Mr. Unnikrishnan,
but I agree with you.
The problem is not so much private investment. I think the problem is also what's happening with government projects, right? I mean, this week the big headline that came in from L&T is that there's been a delay in execution. There are issues with respect to government projects, and this is something that you've told us in the past as well. Execution, payment, receivables, there's been a delay there. Has there been any improvement on that front?
Nothing visible from the government initiated activities for improving the payment cycle, and executions are getting delayed. But there, since you touched the main point, we are going to get a shocker at the time when the economic performance is going to be shown that maybe our deficit is going to be, budget deficit is going to be upwards of 4%. So there will be a scare in the market, there could be a possible downgrade of the economy. So all those issues are to be faced also. I am fully briefed about it and seized upon. There are issues related to that. But somewhere we are going to give up that kind of a negativity in the market, and we are going to think positive, because we are a market which is consumption oriented. So we got to support consumption. So we'll have to find money for it, Lata. Without that, there is no way we can prop up the economy.
We need
to be.
We hear a lot of people telling us, and people in the know, that even our own reporter reported on it at length, that some power sector reforms are coming. There is a plan called Aditya, some Atal Discom Yojana, as well, that a national Discom company could be created, which will pick up the slack from state Discom companies, something on those lines. Discom slack is going to be addressed, we are told. What are your thoughts on this? What would your suggestions be? And because of that, are you expecting any order expectations?
Well, even today, despite every effort, the quantum of money we are able to collect from the consumer on an average in the country is going to maybe 3.3 rupees per unit of electricity, whereas the average cost of generation of the country is touching almost 4 rupees, hovering between 3.8 to 4. So there is a deficit of between 40 to 60 paisa. Somebody is going to fund it by creating a national Discom, or whether it is done by the state Discom. Who will implement it is the most important thing. We need a political will that electricity is not something like a fundamental right. Even water can be a right, electricity can't be. So we are going to charge for the energy at the cost of recovery. The moment that is done, whether it is done by the state or by the center, then investments can be coming in. Because please remember, it is not a lack of equity, it is a lack of funding to come from the debt side. No bank is willing to be funding any power plant in the country at this point of time, because there are standard assets with NCLT, IBC even today. Okay. So it's only the rare NTPC projects which are coming in, which they are also busy with commissioning of the earlier batches which they ordered out. So I'm not expecting in the coming at least maybe 2 more years any larger projects be coming in, and the first preference for them would be to comply with the NGT and go with the flue gas desulfurization and DeNOx systems, which itself is going to be a 50-60,000 crores of rupees investment which could happen in the next 2-year time. It's getting ordered out.
So Mr. Unnikrishnan, we are actually running out of time. So quickly, can you tell us what is the order book currently? And you were telling us that there's a pickup in orders from the private sector, names like Amul, etc. Can you give us a little more details?
Well, I cannot reveal the numbers because I'm in a silent period, but let me tell you, no, there is some misunderstanding of the number, or maybe I did tell in the private sector, there are a set of people who are unduly worried about and are investing, and there are others who are getting like tortoise into a shell and say that's our economic difficulty. That's what I meant. Otherwise, there is no major pickup visible at a larger scale. There are sectors who are investing, but that is not going to be making the numbers take to a very high level.
Okay.
Maybe some companies will improve the order booking, but not everybody in the sector in capital goods.
Okay. Yes, that gels with what we've heard from other companies as well, especially in the capital goods space. Thank you very much for joining us, Mr. Unnikrishnan. Let's wait and see, especially what you say about pollution control and effluent control. If that's implemented, then even that could be beneficial both for the economy, the capital goods space, and for the country in general. We'll take a break on that note.